Hi, Homeworthy. I'm Jensen Lang. Welcome to my Tennessee home. Come on in.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
My name is Jensen Lang. I work full-time for a med spa here in Nashville called LMR. I do all of their social media marketing, event planning. I recently just opened up my own content creation business where I do content creation for anything from weddings, events, branding, anything like that. And then I also do my own social media on the side just for fun, and most of it has to do with my home. We are in Nashville right now at my home. This is my first home that I purchased. It is a 2-story home, and on the lower level we actually have an Airbnb that I rent out. Back in October of 2023, I had been living in Nashville for 2 years at the point, and I was ready to get my own place and live alone, and I really wanted to invest in a piece of property. It took me 6 months to find a home. It had only been on the market for a few hours, and I stepped through the back door for the first time, and I saw this living room and looked at my realtor and I said, this is the one. Another selling point for this home was the mother-in-law suite. It's attached to the home, but it's fully separate. But the house did need a lot of work. It was the definition of a fixer-upper. Everyone that saw the home thought I was crazy for taking on a project like this, but I could really see the potential, and I really loved the bones of the home. I've been in the home for a little over 2 years now, and I absolutely love it, and I do not regret my decision at all. Welcome to my living room. This is the room, like I said, that made me fall in love with the home. The original wood paneling on the walls, and then we also have some wood beams on the ceiling as well. It's actually really funny, when I first bought the home, I was planning on painting this room, and I quickly changed my mind because people kept coming over and saying, oh my goodness, it feels so cozy in here, and the wood paneling is definitely the reason why. Another thing that you'll notice in my home is I would say 98% of everything I have in here is thrifted or secondhand. I don't typically buy new items or new furniture. I love furniture and things that are collected with a story. So the first thing I'll actually mention is this dining room table. This is a solid wood dining room table that I probably will never get rid of. I got it for $100 on Facebook Marketplace, and it was just some lady really trying to get rid of it down in Franklin, and I snagged it very quickly. Another thing about a lot of the pieces in this home is my home was built in 1955, and the previous owner, her and her husband actually built the home together, and she lived here up until the day she passed away, and they actually had a huge estate sale before they sold the home. And I actually bought quite a few pieces from her. She had a bunch of stools like this, and so I bought all of them. Actually, my parents bought them for me and surprised me because I said that I wanted them. One thing you'll notice about this room as well, there's no overhead lighting, so it's very dark with the wood paneling. So I have lights and lamps everywhere in the room, and I have picture lights over every picture. A lot of the things as well that you notice in the home and that I'll talk about are also from my grandmother. She passed away about 2 years ago, so I got a lot of the stuff that she owned, and one of them being this painting. It was in her bathroom, and I absolutely fell in love with it and knew that this would be the perfect place for it. Another thing that you'll see in my home as well is my grandma loved tennis, and I brought that into my home. So I have a lot of tennis prints and tennis items. So one of them being this Slim Aaron's print that people are absolutely obsessed with. I saw another girl on social media have it, and I just knew that I had to have it, and it really reminds me of my grandma. I also love to collect matchboxes, so you'll see a ton of matchboxes scattered around the home, just filled with places that I've been. I have my Airbnb matchboxes in here as well, places that I love. It just reminds me of all the places that I've traveled. I also have a love for hydrangeas on the outside of my home. I have an entire hedge of them. I bought these because I like flowers that you can save and you don't have to throw away and they last forever. So I bought these on Etsy before I actually had my own hydrangeas about 2 years ago. So these are dried limelights and I absolutely love the warmth, and they also go with every single season, so especially in the fall they look beautiful in the home. One thing that sold me about this home is this fireplace. It's a real wood burning fireplace that was original to the home. The previous owner supposedly lit a fire every single night, and when I purchased the home I wanted to see if it was safe to use, so I had an inspector come out, and it actually needed a ton of work. And at the time I didn't want to spend the money, and about a year later I had someone else come out to give me another opinion. And he basically said that it completely needed to be redone and rebuilt, and they were wanting a ton of money. So we actually have a faux wood burning fireplace in here because we just didn't want to spend the money on completely redoing the fireplace. But I absolutely love how this looks in the room. This couch was actually the first thing that I purchased when I bought this home. I've always wanted a white sofa. I thrifted it. Again, it was from Facebook Marketplace, and I got it for a steal. The lady was moving out of the country and she just needed to get rid of it. I really wanted a white couch, but not a stark white couch. I really love the look of a cream couch. Plus I have a dog, so it's a little bit easier to clean. And I love how all of the cushions, also because I have a dog, they come off and they're washable. Another item that I thrifted was this coffee table. We have gone through a ton of different coffee tables since we've moved in here, and this one is by far my favorite. It's a real marble top with a black wood base, and I absolutely love the way it looks. I love the way a marble, it's very traditional, very Ralph Lauren, and I just absolutely love it. Another thing that I had to have for this room that I also thrifted off of Facebook Marketplace was this checkered rug. I love jute rugs. You'll see that all throughout my home. They just add so much warmth to a room, but I love how this one adds a little bit of texture and it's got a pattern to it, and I absolutely love it. In this corner, it's actually very new. It's the newest addition to the living room. I wanted somewhere that I could drink my morning coffee, and there was nothing in this corner before, so I felt like it needed a little bit of something. So when you're sitting on the couch, someone can also sit over here and you could talk to them. So this is actually from Amazon. One of the things that it's not thrifted in my home, but I just love, again, it adds that Ralph Lauren touch with the cowhide. Another thing too is this lamp is actually my grandmother's as well. Another thing I saw in her home that I just had to have, and I think it fits perfectly in this corner. So I turned these bookshelves into basically my bar area. I think before this was actually where she kept all of the firewood, because on the outside of the home there's actually a square in the brick and it looks like it used to be open, so they used to put the firewood through the outside and she would keep it in here. But I turned it into a bar because we don't have room in our kitchen, and a lot of these are actually gifted to me or thrifted. Again, these were my grandmother's. She played tennis and loved tennis, so I love these because they remind me of her. My best friend got me these martini glasses as a housewarming gift when I moved in, so I absolutely love those. And then my boyfriend who lives with me, he's from Kentucky originally, so he put his touch on the bar with the Kentucky State wood plaque. So this was something that I was on the hunt for a really long time. Before, I just had a very plain white IKEA cabinet here, and I refused to buy something until I found the perfect item. And again, I found this on Facebook Marketplace. I believe I paid $100 for it, and when I went to go pick it up, the guy was like, "Someone just told me this is worth over $1,000," and I was like, "Oh, well, thank you." And anyway, I believe it's mahogany wood. And again, it just gives that Ralph Lauren touch. I love the warmth. I love having all of the different types of wood with the table, the bar, and then the walls as well. And then this is kind of our makeshift bar. The bookshelves over there are our main bar, but we like to keep a little bit over here just in case we host. We love to host, so when we have Christmas, I have a whole spread of drinks and cocktails over here that's really easy for guests to come and grab. And then this photo, I believe I got it off of Etsy. My boyfriend loves to golf, and we were looking for another print to hang in this room, and I found this one, and I loved how it was black and white, and then it was also a little touch for him because it had to do with golf, and he absolutely loves it, and I think it fits here perfectly. Another thing about this cabinet is we don't have a ton of storage in this home with it being an older home. So this has all of my hosting stuff with my tablecloths, my napkins, my silverware, anything you could think of. It's just like extra storage and I absolutely love it. Another thing that really made me fall in love with this home was this big picture window at the front of our house. But also another thing you'll notice is that all of the windows are original to the home, and it's actually pretty funny. We get quite a few salesmen that come up to the home trying to get us to buy new windows, and I'm like, they work great. I don't really have a reason to get new windows, and I love the way that they look. The only downside is that they've been painted shut and they don't open, but I don't know if I'll ever get rid of them unless I need to because I absolutely love them. Next, I will take you into my kitchen. Welcome to my kitchen. This is actually a project that I did not expect to do right away, and then one day I decided to rip off a layer of the wallpaper because it was peeling off, and that kind of was peeling back a bunch of onions and led from one thing to another. My parents actually live in Florida, and for the first 6 months of me purchasing the home, they flew up every single month to help with renovations, and one of them being this kitchen renovation. My mom ended up renting a commercial steamer to get the 6 layers of wallpaper off, and they were under the wallpaper. There were layers and layers of glue. It took a few weeks for me to finish this project, but it ended up turning out completely amazing. I love the way it turned out. So I documented the entire kitchen renovation on social media, and when I was doing that, someone commented on one of my videos and said you should save some layers of wallpaper. So that's exactly what I did because I absolutely love that idea. A lot of it wasn't savable, but the layers that were, I did save a few and I framed them, and they will always be right here. And another fun thing is that I'm actually coming out with a wallpaper collection, and we are recreating a lot of the wallpapers that you'll see around the home because they are from the 50s, and I think there's nothing like them, and people are always asking where they can get them. So actually when I moved in, this was the wallpaper that was on the walls, these adorable strawberries, and the kitchen floors were actually red linoleum, and people on the internet were going crazy about my red floors, and when I told them I was getting rid of them, they kind of freaked out, but they didn't realize that they were linoleum. They thought they were tile. They're actually still under these floors though, because believe it or not, these are actually peel and stick. So if the next person who wants to buy the home wants the red floors, they are preserved. One thing that I really want to do with this room is get a bench seating back here. I have been on the hunt for a few months, but haven't been able to find one that I'm actually obsessed with. So for now, this is my little kitchen nook, and this might be my favorite little corner in the kitchen. I absolutely love it. This kitchen nook is the perfect place to eat breakfast and have your morning coffee, and I just love it. Another thing is this light that my mom got me for Christmas about 2 years ago. It's also another one of my favorites. I love the scallop detail and the warmth that it brings to this room. The paneling on these walls actually used to be the knotty pine that's in the living room, and I just felt like there was too much wood, so I really wanted to brighten up the kitchen. So I decided to paint all of that, and then I also added, these were just flat wood doors, so I actually added this trim to the door to make it a little bit more modern and also add that traditional touch to the home as well. So my most recent addition to this kitchen were these wall sconces. I wanted to bring in some color to the kitchen, and I love this dark burgundy color. And then I also added these cafe curtains. These used to be white, and then I wanted something to match the sconces, and I thought these matched perfectly, and they add so much warmth and texture into the kitchen that I felt like it was missing. Most of the decor you'll see on the shelf over here has been thrifted, including the shelf. This is from Goodwill. I believe I got it for $5, and I absolutely love it. I also love the way that copper looks, so anytime I see anything copper, I love to collect it and put it in my kitchen or anywhere throughout my home. So that's why you see a bunch of copper. So this is the side of my kitchen that actually has not been touched yet. I have been waiting because it's going to be a big project to take on. What I would like to do is paint the cabinets. That's the same color as the breakfast nook. And then I would like to replace all of the hardware, get new countertops, new appliances, the whole 9 yards, new sink. Although I do plan on painting the cabinets, I do want to keep some warmth in the kitchen, so I am going to keep some wood details, including the wood windows. I absolutely love that. It brings the wood from the living room into the kitchen, and I think it flows really nicely. And then one thing I love is our wood vent hood that I also will be keeping wood. I just love the way that a wood vent hood looks. But the reason I do want to paint the cabinets is because there's nothing I love more than a bright, welcoming kitchen. I wouldn't really say that I have a specific style. My favorite style is a collected home. My favorite homes that I walk into don't have a certain style that they stick to. They have a collected, every type of style you could imagine. It's all in one room, and I just love the way it looks. My biggest inspiration for my home design is Ralph Lauren. I love traditional style, and that's what you'll see throughout my home. The next room I'll be showing you is my bedroom. Before we go into the bedroom, I just wanted to point out this is the hallway that connects all of the living room to the bedroom and the bathroom. And this is another little moment for tennis that reminds me of my grandmother. So I just wanted to point that out. So welcome to our primary bedroom. This might be my favorite room in the house on top of the living room. One thing about this room that I absolutely love is the wallpaper. The wallpaper is original to the home, and I just think it's so beautiful and dainty and very girly. This is actually what sparked my wallpaper collection. I, in the past, have worked with a company called Loomwell. You'll see them also throughout the home. I absolutely love their wallpapers, and I reached out to them recently and asked if they wanted to recreate this wallpaper. I get a ton of questions about it, where it's from, and I can never link it or tell people where it's from because it's from the 50s, but I think it's absolutely stunning, so they were on board with recreating it. Because the wallpaper was, to me, the focal point of the room, and going off of it being very dainty, I wanted to keep the entire rest of the room pretty dainty and soft and welcoming, and there's nothing I love more than a primary bedroom that you just feel cozy and you want to spend time in. So most of the decor in here is very soft and white. These were actually, I believe, my great-grandmother's, and I think they match perfectly in here. And as you can tell, also my bedding is all linen. I love linen. Another thing that I love about this room is the windows that wrap around the corner. It's like this in every room of the home, so the light in every room is amazing because of this, and that's something I've never seen before, specifically in an older home as well. My nightstands are also another item that I purchased from the estate sale that was in the home. So these were the previous owners, and I knew exactly when I purchased them that I wanted to use them in here, and they fit perfectly. I've had these lights for a very, very long time, and I didn't really plan on them being in here, but I actually ended up loving the way that they looked, so they've been in here ever since. Also, you can see that I have my dried hydrangeas in here as well. One thing about me is that I actually do not like a ceiling fan. If I don't have to have one, then I would really prefer not to. However, in this home, the airflow doesn't get to this room very well, so we really needed a fan in this room, and I actually found a chandelier from Amazon that actually doubles as a fan. It has blades that are hidden into it, and you can control it from your phone or a remote, and honestly, it has changed the game, and I love the way it looks. Now I'll show you the bathroom. So this is technically our primary bathroom. There's only one bathroom on the upstairs floor plan. So this bathroom was the first big project that I took on fully on my own, and it was really gray, and I'm not a big fan of gray, so I wanted to brighten it up and really make it feel like me. So the first thing I did was paint the tile. This was a gray tie-dye tile, so I painted it a white tile paint, and then I got wallpaper, again from my favorite Loomwell. This is their wallpaper. So this is actually the first project that I worked on them with, and I absolutely love their wallpaper. Could not recommend it enough. It's been in here for 2.5 years, and we've never had any issues with it. Another thing though that I kept is our original tile, which the countertops also match the flooring. This is one thing that whenever people come over, they always point out how much they love this. This used to be just a white color, and I actually painted it just a color that I already had. It's the same color that I used in the kitchen. It's natural cream, just to really brighten it up and clean it up because it wasn't in the best shape. Another thing that I did was I replaced the mirror and the sconces. It was very modern feeling actually. It had these really tall white sconces on either side, and I loved how traditional these sconces were, and then I wanted to add some warmth into the bathroom, so that's why I decided to add a wood mirror in here. So originally the accent color that it had in this bathroom to match the wallpaper, I chose blue. So that is why I ended up getting these blue striped cafe curtains. And another thing that I love to do in homes and interiors is to mix patterns. As you can see, there's a lot of pattern in here with the countertop and the wallpaper, and I just love how these cafe curtains look in here. But recently I actually decided to change the towels to dark green instead of blue. I love the way that they look in here now. Next, I'll show you the second bedroom. Follow me. So welcome to our second bedroom slash my closet room. This has been my most recent project. For the first 6 months that we moved here, we actually had my boyfriend's friend living with us. So this was kind of just his room, and then he moved out and it was just a throw-all room. Like I said, I've been living here for 2.5 years, and I would say about 2 months ago, I finally painted the room and decided I wanted to put a bed in here and do something with the room. So I also mentioned that we don't have a ton of storage in this room, and I love clothes. So I really wanted to turn this room into a closet room without taking up any space for a bedroom. So like I said, I recently painted the room. I changed out this chandelier. There was a fan in here before. And then I have been on the hunt for a Murphy bed. So we recently, about 2 weeks ago, just got a Murphy bed. So this pulls down, so when guests are here, it turns into a bedroom, but when they're gone, it's nice because we can put it up and it leaves us a bunch of open space. My plan with this room is to build in a built-in closet system along this entire wall that matches the Murphy bed, and I want to paint them the same color as the wall so it looks completely custom and built in, and you would never know that it's a closet or a bed. Another plan that I have for this room is I really want to mix in a lot of pattern and texture in here, so I plan on doing lots of pinks, reds, greens. I actually just got this rug. It got delivered a couple weeks ago. It adds the perfect girly touch to my closet room, and I think it works perfectly in here. Another item that I thrifted from Facebook Marketplace was this vanity. There actually used to be a built-in vanity in this room, but it was tucked in a corner, so I really wanted something in front of natural light. So I found this, and I had been on the hunt for a few months for one, and scored this one, and I absolutely love the way it looks. One thing that I knew I really wanted in this room was my vanity to be in front of this window, but it was kind of an awkward space, and I needed a certain height so it didn't look weird in front of the window, and I found this one on Facebook Marketplace, and it absolutely fits perfectly in this space, and I love it. Another thing as well, I don't know if you see behind me, but we have a guitar. My boyfriend loves to play the guitar, so this also doubles as his guitar room as well. I love that this room is multi-purpose for us and serves all of our needs, from guest bedroom, closet room to guitar room as well. So like I said, this room used to have a built-in vanity, and this is where it was located. As you can see, it's very dark and not great for getting ready. So we decided to remove the vanity, and this dresser that I had fit here perfectly. These wall sconces are also original to the home. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep them, but I think they work with the space for now. And then this mirror is also another thing that I purchased from the previous owner of the home as well. I would say my favorite room in my home is probably my living room. It's the first room that made me fall in love with the home. All the wood paneling, it's all original to the home, and I love how cozy it makes the home feel. So we're gonna head outside and I'll show you our Airbnb. So this is our outdoor patio. I love to sit out here and have my morning coffee, and we also love to host, like I said. So this is where we always grill out, host people, have outdoor dinner parties. But this space did not look like this when I moved in. This actually used to be a screened-in porch, and the first thing I wanted to do was rip it down because it was rotted and gross. You did not want to step inside of it. So my dad, even though he refused at first, he ended up ripping the whole thing down, and they ended up supporting the roof and turning it into an outdoor porch. So this patio was actually a recent project, and one thing I really wanted out here was a bar. and we actually had this in the Airbnb. It was in the kitchen, but it was too big for the kitchen. So it had just been sitting in our garage for the last 2 years, and my boyfriend was like, why don't you just put it outside? And it actually fit the space absolutely perfect, and I ended up painting it the same color as the brick, so it almost looked built in, and we've absolutely loved it so far. It's perfect for hosting, has so much storage, and we absolutely love it. So my inspiration for my outdoor space was the English countryside. I have never been, but I love the photos that I've seen. So I really wanted a wrought iron set out here, and I actually found this set. It was a 4-piece set on Amazon, and I got this table actually from Target, but it matches perfectly with the space. And I also love checkered, if you couldn't tell from my living room rug and my kitchen flooring. So I have a checkered outdoor rug out here as well. One thing I really wanted out here was a large dining room table because, like I said, we love to host, but I really wanted a worn-in teak table, so I found one for actually, I believe it was $100 from Facebook Marketplace, exactly what I was looking for. And I also have a black and white scalloped umbrella that I think fits perfectly with my English countryside vision for this patio. A little tip that I do not have a green thumb, so if you're like me and can't keep any plants alive, all of my outdoor patio plants are actually fake. They're all from Amazon, and it's actually hilarious when people come over. They're like, wow, these flowers, I can't believe they're blooming at this time of year. Everyone thinks they're real. They look so good, and they honestly save me so much time, and I don't have to water them or replace them every year. Next, I'm going to show you my newest addition, my chicken coop. So when I bought the home, I noticed that a few of my neighbors had chickens. So from that day, I had really wanted chickens, but my boyfriend was not super on board with it. It took 2 years of me begging, and he finally let me get them about 2 months ago. So I spent weeks prepping this chicken coop for them, and of course, just like any other project, I had to go above and beyond and make it as cute as possible. So these are my girls. We have Martha, Waffles, and Nancy. The deal was if I could get chickens, he could name one of them. So Waffles, like chicken and waffles, he named, and then Nancy, like Nancy Myers, and Martha, like Martha Stewart. So I actually bought this chicken coop from Tractor Supply, and then I ended up painting it the same color as my house, so it blended in. And then I wanted to make it cute, of course, so I got these solar-powered lanterns from Amazon, and then I also added this scallop detailing to the outside of it as well. My favorite part of the coop is the front door to the coop over here. So the green stripes are actually the same color as all of the exterior doors on my house. So not only does the white match, but the green also matches my home as well. And I just thought the stripes were absolutely adorable. And then of course I had to add a little sign because eventually when they start laying eggs, I'm going to start giving eggs to my friends and family. So I want to get a custom stamp that has the Cluckford Cottage on it to put on the egg cartons. So just like all of my patio plants, I also wanted to put some plants out here, but they are also faux, so I don't have to water them or keep them alive, and they make the coop look really cute. My go-to design tip, it might be cliche, but I think filling your home with everything that you love is the key to making a beautiful and cozy home. Now I'm going to take you to my Airbnb, the most special part of my home. So I had always had a dream to own hydrangeas, and this home was in rough condition when I purchased it. So I redid the entire exterior of the home, and about a year ago I ripped out all of the landscaping, and I basically just told my landscaper I wanted a sea of hydrangeas. So I think we planted around 30 hydrangeas around the entire exterior of my home, and my dream of owning them and the way that they look is coming true because they could not be more beautiful, and I absolutely love the way that they look on the exterior of the home and the way that the curb appeal that they bring it as well. So welcome to the Nashville Cottage. This is the Airbnb attached to my home and the entire reason why I purchased this home. This space was actually in horrible condition. It was, safe to say, disgusting. So this was the first project that we worked on. Like I mentioned earlier, for the first 6 months, my parents flew out from Florida every single month to help with renovations, and that was mainly on this space. This space took us about a year to renovate because we kept, running into issues that comes with an older home. So we replaced basically everything in this home, but like I said earlier too, the kitchen was already here, the bathroom was already here, so we didn't knock any walls down, we just completely gutted the place. So the kitchen behind me was actually really small when I purchased it, and it had that bar. It was in this area right here, and it basically closed off the kitchen and made it look really small. It also had a huge stove, so what we decided to do was, so the kitchen before was just these cabinets, a stove right here, and then the fridge right next to that. It was not very workable, could not really cook in the space. So what we decided to do was keep the cabinets that were on this wall, but also add drawers because there were also no drawers in the kitchen. And then we added a smaller stove, and this is the same fridge as well. It completely transformed the place. It opened it up, made it look so much bigger, and everything is very functional. The stove works great. I've come down here, I've cooked to test everything out, and it's super cozy and I love it. Another thing that I had to have in this kitchen was this beadboard backsplash. I saw a picture on Pinterest and absolutely fell in love with it. And then we added this shelf as well, so it kind of looks like a built-in, but it gives you more storage, and I love how cottagey it feels. It really plays into the name of the Nashville Cottage. One thing I'll mention as well is that these cabinets are the same exact cabinets that I have upstairs. So once I paint mine, this is exactly what they'll look like, and I love all the texture and the detailing, and I just think it gives a lot of character to the kitchen. So for every guest, I leave a guest book and a little welcome card, and I also give them some local coffee. But I have some really special guests coming in this weekend. It's my mom's best friend from high school, I believe, and it's their anniversary, so I gave them a little champagne as well and wrote them a little note saying happy anniversary as well. One thing that this kitchen didn't have was somewhere to store trash, but I didn't want a trash can in plain sight because it ruins how cute it is. So I actually found this at Goodwill for $20. It's actually a dog food storage, but it's perfect because it hides the trash and it also gives you extra storage. And people that bring dogs, there are dog bowls at the bottom as well. And then on top, I have our guest book that all the guests sign, and they give recommendations to future guests as well. And then I also provide matchboxes that guests are able to take with them once they leave as well. The same thing as the part of the home that I live in, this space is also very collected, and most of the things are thrifted or secondhand. So this couch actually is my most recent purchase. It pulls out into a second queen bed. So it actually sleeps 4 people down here. It's only a 1 bed, 1 bath. This helps with being able to sleep more people. You'll also see a lot of the tennis inspiration that I had upstairs as well. So I have tennis rackets hanging down here as well. And then this is also one of my favorite pieces that I thrifted because I love the little bow detailing. I believe it was originally to hold magazines and books, but I use it as a blanket holder and a little side table for the living room. Honestly, everything down here is my favorite. I love everything. I love how cozy it feels. I love how welcoming it feels, but this is something that I was pretty proud of when I found it on Marketplace. I think I found it for $70, and I sent my boyfriend to go pick it up, and the guy was joking with him and told him I was paying $700 for it. But I love it. It's perfect for keeping extra mugs, and I also keep board games for guests as well down here, and I just love it. I think it adds a lot of cute personality to the space. So this is the little dining area. This space is not super big, but I wanted to give the same feel that I did in my own kitchen upstairs. So I actually bought the smaller version of my table and it fits perfectly down here. And then these chairs were also another thrift find, and people are always asking me where I found my chair covers or my chair cushions, but they came with the chairs and I think they match perfectly with the space. And then I added a little pendant hanging light that also is inspired by my kitchen upstairs with the rattan, but I think it's perfect in this space. These I actually purchased a few months ago off of Etsy, and they were just stored in a cabinet for so long because I had no idea where I wanted to hang them because I was absolutely in love with them. I was like, they needed to be in the most perfect place. I just didn't know where to hang them. Anyway, I ended up hanging them right here and people love them and I love them as well. They're actually really textured and they're beautiful. And then the frames are just from Amazon and they match perfectly with the prints. So the bathroom is the one room in this Airbnb that I knew exactly how I wanted to design it when I bought the home. I had dreamt of a pink bathroom with beadboard, and my dad truly brought this vision to life. And I also had a penny tile black and white floor installed, and it was really funny when my dad was installing it. He was almost done. He was like, "It looks pretty good, right, for my first time?" And I was like, I had no idea it was his first time doing it, but my dad is truly so talented. He did almost every single project honestly in my home. Him and my mom are just so amazing, and I'm so thankful for them. The only thing that we did not touch in this bathroom was the shower. So this is the original shower that came with the space, and it ended up fitting in perfectly with the white textured tile, and I just love how adorable it is. So this was my most recent project down here. Before the room was just white, and I felt like it was too stark white. It wasn't cozy enough. So I really wanted to add some wallpaper because I have wallpaper in so many rooms upstairs. I also wanted to add that warmth down here. So I spent months picking out a wallpaper with Loomwell and landed on this hydrangea wallpaper. I think it matches perfectly because of all the hydrangeas that I have outside, and I also rent this space out for photo shoots as well, so I didn't want it to be super busy and a lot going on, so I wanted it to be a little bit neutral but still bring in that warmth and color to the room. Since adding the wallpaper, I am now redecorating the room, of course. I really want to bring in some blues to bring in the blue hydrangea color. But one thing I do not want to change is my gingham bedding. This is my favorite part of this room. I love it. I love the pattern gingham, but I want to start to add in some new pillows, and I need to get some new pictures for the walls as well. So this room is really a work in progress at the moment. This is another item that I purchased from the previous owner when they had an estate sale. It's an antique dresser, and it is something that I will have forever, and I think it fits in this bedroom perfectly. And then recently I actually thrifted this cute little jewelry box that matches the wallpaper. It has blue little flowers on it that matches this perfectly, and I just love it. I think it's adorable. Again, I also brought my dried hydrangeas down here as well because I don't have to water them or do anything with them, and they live forever. A home to me is somewhere that makes you feel warm and cozy, and it's something that's filled with pieces that are filled with tons of memories.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.